Hi friends, and welcome back to my nest. My name is Kate. So today I'm working on our block number 7 from our pressed flower sew along from Frackwater Shop. So today's block looks a little bit like this, and the name is Zinnia. So this is block number 7. Even though I'm staying consistent with the reds, I wanted to use a different red this time that is also consistent with the reds that I've been using from the Bonnie and Camille line. So I searched high and low in my stash. Well, even though that's not a whole lot to search because everything is like right behind me. So anyway, I searched and I found a layer cake of their little snippet line. It's a little older line, but I have a layer cake of it and I have a fat quarter bundle. I went into my layer cake. Let me show you. So this is what that line looks like. I think you can still find this on Etsy. I am not sure. But yeah, so I went through and I looked for the reds. You know, a lot of their red are very consistent. They look the same throughout. This one had one of the prettiest gingham in it. But anyways, in this, the pink and the red, I went through and found red that is consistent with the red that I've been using right here. So this is what I'm going to be using from this little snippet line by Bonnie and Camille. So I wanted to stay consistent without repeating the same color, without repeating the same pattern of fabric over and over. So that's why I'm using this right here. This is very different from what I've used, and it's still consistent with the same red family from the same collection or the same company, which is Moda. So anyway, with that being said, I think I'm talking too much. So let's sew the block. Here are my pieces right here. The first step is wanting us to take the red, which is our deep pieces, and we are going to just sew on the corners, okay? So I'm going to take my squares right here, sew on the corner. I'm going to move this to the side so I can sew. Okay, so now that I've had all of my corners sewn on, I am just going to press open. And by pressing open, I am going to just press on where my seams are so I don't stretch my fabric. All right, so all 4 pieces are all sewn on right now. The next thing we have to do is take our small pieces here and we're going to sew it to the corner of our square. We're going to snowball this part onto the corner. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have here all my corners sewn on. So for this step, we are done. So all 4 of them are done. I'm going to put them to the side right there. So for our next step, we're going to sew this in a 4-patch pattern. Okay, so I'm going to put this here like this, and then I'm going to put this here like that. And so typically, if you don't want to do 4 pieces, you can sew 2 pieces together, cut it, and then flip them, and then you have your 4 patch. But for the sake of the instruction in the book, I'm going to do it the exact way that it wants us to do it, because I know I have beginner sewer following me. So here we go. So I have my 4 patch right here, and being careful not to flip them, I'm going to finger press it open instead of using my iron. I'm just pressing it open before I use my iron, so that way the seam will lay flat. I'm going to put it together like this, and I'm going to make sure it lines up, and I'm going to pin so my seam doesn't move while I'm sewing. And there you go right there. They match. So I'm going to press open, and then I'm going to bring my iron and then just give it a little heat, press it open, and this step is all right. So the next thing we're doing is taking our stem pieces right here, and we're going to make like a little square in a square type thing. So we're going to take all of our bead pieces and we're going to sew it to the corner. For this one, I will chain piece all of them just to make it a little faster, you just chain piece. You're not gonna break thread. You're just gonna sew all four at the same time. I have all four of my square in a square completed. So I'm gonna put them right there. And I've already done the four patch. So now all we're doing is literally putting this block together. It is so easy, y'all. I'm going to put this like this, and then this one's gonna be like this. This one's gonna be like this, and then this one's gonna be like this, kind of like an X. This is kind of like, this right here can be a block by itself, like a Valentine's Day. So if you're making like a Valentine's Day quilt and you want a different look, you know, when you have the hugs and kisses, you can totally do something like this and it will give it a different look. This, I think, with this right here in the middle, mix it up, you know, mix it pop. Or you can put a different color here that will pop, like a teal, or each box will like have a different color in the middle right here. Oh, that's an idea right there. So every square will have a different color, so it will kind of pop out within the quilt. So just an idea, but we're not doing that today. We are making a flower. This is going to be like this. This is going to be like this. And I'm going to put this like this. And then this is like this. And this is like this. It's going to look something like this. So that's what we're doing today. So now what I'm going to do is sew them in segment. I'm going to sew these right here, then I'll sew this right here, then I'll connect it, and then I'll sew these three right here, and then I'll flip it and connect this part. And then literally the whole block will be done. I'm going to pin in the middle here, then I'm going to sew the rest of them together. I mean this four patch together. This is what my block looks like, okay? Now, I am going to be 100% transparent right now. These corner pieces that I did are completely the wrong size. So instead of cutting this a ½ inch smaller, I cut them all the same size. And I sewed it. And I just realized that after looking at the pattern and what it's supposed to look like, I realized that I cut my squares here ½ inch bigger than what it's supposed to be. But I still went on ahead and completed it. So this fabric right here, I really, really like it. And I'm thinking about just leaving it the way it is. I want you to comment down below and let me know if I should remake this block or leave it the way it is. But for now, this is what it looks like all completed, with the exception of cutting this size ½ inch smaller. So with that being said, my block is done, even though I'm not going to say I made a mistake this time. I'm going to say I made a quilter's change. Well, I made an alteration to my block. And anyways, that's what I'm calling it. I want you to comment down below and let me know if I should remake it or leave it in. I'm leaning towards leaving it in. I think I've said this in my very first video, like if I made a mistake, you will see it. And here it is. It happens. And this is 100% being transparent. So for now, my block is completed. And you know what I always said? I've completed my block, whether or not I cut wrong. Now it's time to make yours. And I will love it if you subscribe down below. And I will hope to see you in my next video. Bye.